Hey, how you doing? So in the series here, we're going to talk about the standards conversion, and in this one, we're going to talk about 2398 to 25. Now, Tim has made a very good point about differentiating between 25 and PAL. PAL and NTSC is an analog terminology. Unfortunately, it's still peppered throughout the industry of PAL is identified to 25 and NTSC is identified to 2997. But we should really break them apart and say this is going to be about our frame rate conversions. The PAL and NTSC still has a place, but we don't want to kind of bog down in that. So I'll be talking about 25. I'll be talking about progressive and interlacing. Loads of the, if not all the broadcasts in the UK are still doing interlacing because of the transmissions and what have you. Should it be in progressive? Absolutely. Anything above 1080 is progressive. So I think we're moving towards that. Your Netflix, Amazon videos, that's all progressive as well. So I could see us moving into progressive kind of world, but what I want to show you in today's ones is all about going from 23 to 25 and the pitfalls of it. So let's have a look. So the options right now are the hold frame option, blend frames, and slow PAL. So it's interesting because they're all going to get you a 25 frame per second file, but what's right and what's wrong. And that's what I want to show you in a kind of visual way. So the hold frame option, it's a 30-second spot. It'll be all cool and gravy up to the last frame, and then there'll be a freeze. So it'll be 23 frames, boom, 24 is a hold, then goes on to the next second. The next one is the blend fields, which is what we call ghosting, and that one's kind of really gets pulled up a lot at the broadcasters because it looks shoddy. It's someone walking and it's literally following that way. So blend frame is the quickest one. With the hold frames, it looks juttery over every second, and we'll show that in the car commercial. But with the blend frames, it looks even worse. Slow PAL, this is interesting. So a 30-second spot in 2398, if you create a slow PAL version of that, it'll look beautiful. It'll look fantastic. Big spoiler, it only becomes 28 seconds and 12 frames. So why would you do that? Well, a lot of the trailer houses were doing this, and then they were having an extra second and a half of end slate to the file itself, but there's a pitch issue. So seeing that is faster, the pitch will look a bit different, and that can be a real nightmare if you're doing music videos. So a music video being 3 or 4 minutes, when you slow PAL that, you could lose up to a minute of how long it should be, but the artist will be a bit higher. And if you've got Shazam or anything to these nature that are listening for the artist, that could really cause trouble with it all. So let's have a look at the differences between them all, okay? So I've gone for 4 kind of ones. Now I haven't put Alchemist in here. Now the reason I haven't put Alchemist in here is that Alchemist is around about £15,000 for a license and support. And that's unreachable for people that are actually making commercial at this stage. If you're a large house and you want to, oh, and another key part, Alchemist today is not a SaaS model. So you actually have to buy tin, and you need a Tesla AD card to run it. So it's a big commitment, but it's a very, very good piece of kit. But what I want to show you is that you can get those results without buying it. And this is where Telestream comes in. Telestream has Tachyon within their infrastructure of Cloudflip, and it's pennies, if not pounds, per thing. So if you're just doing random commercials, 23 to 25, and you just need that conversion, Tachyon is the way to go in the Telestream cloud option. You can buy Tachyon by itself, again, a huge outlay, need the tin, need to run it, need to maintain it, but why would you do it when Telestream's got it as a SaaS model? The other one I pulled into the mix is Adobe Meter Encoder because everyone's basically got that out there. Apple Compressor, don't touch it. And FFMPEG. Now, what do I think about open source? Open source is a great thing. It really is. Now, when you need to get very niche for things, it can fall over a bit because there's a certain amount of people working on X264 and H264 and other codecs that are kind of an open sourcing community. Making proxies, making thumbnails, doing that sort of stuff, fantastic. Creating broadcast masters, it has its place. But when you need to really get into frame interpolation and motion compensation, it can fall down a lot, and I'll show you why. So here we are here, we've got the 4 guys lined up, and if I start just framing through here, you will notice everything's quite cool. Apple is trying to keep up with a bit of motion. You can see the difference, top left being Tachyon, bottom is Apple Compressor, everything else is working out. That's the ghost frames I was talking about, the Apple Compressor. Now if I jump on down to the last second, and where is it? It's hiding in here somewhere. It is, there it is. So you can see the top right, you've got Adobe meter encoders holding that frame. You got down the bottom, Apple compressors hanging on, FFMPEG's hanging on, and Tachyon is hanging in no problems. Watch this on the scene change. So if I come through to the scene change, here it is. So this is where things all start to get very interesting. So Tachyon is doing what we call a clean cut. So it's not mashing together the frames and fields per se. It's saying, right, where's my cut? I'll make sure that that is honored that way, same as what Alchemist does. Adobe Media Encoder's done another hold before that. Apple Compressor's fallen over. It's doing a blend field that we mentioned. FFmpeg, believe it or not, is hanging in there. Adobe's now caught up. Apple's now caught up for the last one. So you get the gist. Every second there's going to be a hold, or throughout this is going to be blend. So where I want to really show you the difference here. So car coming along, I'll just play it down, it won't make any difference here. So you kind of look and go, well, that's fine, Craig, it looks all right, it's going to get past. You have to understand, the big broadcasters will eyeball and QC the spot. Automatic quality control is brilliant, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic, but there's things it just can't pick up. These hold frames and blend fields and that sort of stuff, it's not going to pick them up. It might in the future, VidChecker, Baton, Pulsar, they might pick it up in the future, but today, it's a human that will be looking at this and going, that does not look right. Now let's have a look. Down the bottom, there's your blend fields of Apple. It's all over the shop. I'm gonna go back. Let's go find some holds. There's Adobe's holding it there. So you can see the top right, there's Adobe. FFmpeg's hanging on. FFmpeg seems to have an algo that there's a hold frame on FFmpeg down the bottom right as well. So even though they are doing the hold frames, the algorithms can be slightly different to it all. But the big kicker is to the end of the spot, the logo comes up and you will notice Tachyon will bang out. The others are lasting longer. So they're like a frame or two depending on the conversion you're doing. So even though Media Info will say it's 1 minute and 5 seconds, it won't show you the frames on top of that as well. And that's what you need to be really careful of. Don't estimate that I've done my 25 frames, it's in Adobe Media Encoder, it looks all right. You need to understand the duration of it. Thus, whenever you convert something, check it out in Media Info. Well, that's the start of 23 to 25. I would highly recommend going to Tachyon and trying that out. I might do a series of videos on Telestream, to be fair, to kind of give you an idea of what this tool set is. But for Adobe Media Encoder, the hold frame's going to be in there. Mind you, there is an optical version, there is frame interpolation within all of these. I will show you in the next video on how the optical stuff is suicide. You don't want to do any of that. Stay well clear of it all. And that video, which will be straight after this one pretty soon, will show you the differences in that. So, what you want to be careful of, watch out for your hold frames, watch out for the ghosting. And if you are going to do 23 to 25, take the time to do it correctly. A lot of people will actually go through an edit process and where that hold frame is, do a little slight interpolation to it. That can be fine. But you need to understand that the quality and integrity of the channel of the broadcaster is what really matters there. So hopefully that's a good start, guys. Tim, thanks for putting me back in the shape. I really appreciate it. That's what I love about this industry. People can come together to give their opinion and make people think about it. So it's not a witch hunt, it's kind of making it better. So Tim, thanks, mate. I really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, hopefully that's good for the 23-25. Wait till I show the optical one that's coming up soon, and then you'll go, I get it now. So as always, guys, have a great day.